people. It's episode 23, and do you know what day it is? It's National Read a Book Day. Do you really need a national day to read a book? Read a fucking book, okay? Read multiple books. There's so many great books out there. They're making new ones every day. Just read one. It's good for you. I mean, and especially in these COVID-y times, read a damn book. Steve Jones turned 65 this week. Jonesy. You know, one of the great things about Jonesy is, it's not like he invented anything new about the guitar style or sound. He just did it the way it's supposed to sound. You know, he took his jack, he plugged it into his amp, he cranked it up, and that's the way it's supposed to sound. But everybody was all appalled. Oh, all those King Crimson guys and Genesis guys and Yes guys. Oh, no, he can't do that. Yeah, do that. Thank you, Jonesy. Thank you for reminding us how guitar is supposed to sound. So, I don't know if you can tell, I got my electric guitars on today because it's all about going electric today, and thank God for that. So, going electric. Long, long time ago, in 1961, a young man named Bob moved to New York City. 20 years old. Before long, his genius was apparent to everyone, and he became the darling of the music world. He made 4 records between 62 and 64, each one more daring and successful than the last. But everything was not going as well as you might think for young Bob. Nope. He had developed parasitic growth called the folk scene. They were trying to take over his mind. He was tired of doing protest songs. He was tired of singing Kumbaya. He was not a company man. He could not toe the line. Nope. In 1964, he was introduced at the Newport Folk Festival by saying, "You know him. He's yours, Bob Dylan." Bob said, "Screw that. As far as I know, I didn't belong to anybody. Then, or now. Screw that." Bob put on the kettle, and he began to think. He began to read. He was reading Arthur Rimbaud. He was talking to Allen Ginsberg. He listened to the Beatles. They blew his mind. He got into a car. He started roaming across America, just like Jack Kerouac. He stopped in every little town, talking to the waitress, talking to the miners, talking to the truckers. He was soaking it up, man. Bob's kettle was starting to heat up. Bob teamed up with producer Tom Wilson in '65. No, not our Hamilton Tom Wilson, who's also a cool cat. Tom Wilson that did the first couple of Velvet Underground records, for example. And he made this album called Bringing It All Back Home. Take a look at that album cover, and you can see right into Bob's mind. Look at the cover art. That gal there, that's Sally Grossman. That's the wife of his manager. There's a bunch of records laying around. The Impressions, Keep Pushing, Curtis Mayfield, Robert Johnson, Ravi Shankar, Lotta Lenya, Kurt Weill, doing that song Pirate Jenny, great dark cabaret music. And then there's a Time magazine, LBJ, Man of the Year. LBJ just committed America to Vietnam. Half of this new album had an electric rock band, unlike anything Bob had done before. The other half was acoustic. He got some of his buddies from the New York folk scene, like John Sebastian in there, John Hammond, got a bunch of guys, session pros in there. Bill Lee, Spike Lee's dad. Bob knew where he was going. His water's starting to boil there. The kettle's heating up. Album came out in '65, March. In July of '65, Bob got invited to the Newport Folk Festival for the third time. Newport that year was a 4-day event, Thursday to Sunday. It was a who's who of folk. Had your Bob Dylan, had your Butterfield Blues Band, Joan Baez, Donovan, Reverend Gary Davis, Theodore Bickle, go figure, Gene Ritchie, Bill Monroe, Ian and Sylvia, Gordon Lightfoot, everybody was there. Bob played his set on Saturday, acoustic, well received. He gets off stage, he hears Alan Lomax putting down the Butterfield Blues Band. Too loud, too electric, too poppy, don't like him. Bob is pissed. Bob says, fuck that. They can't keep electric out of this music. I'll show them. Bob goes home to where he's staying. Calls up Mike Bloomfield. Says, bring the boys down. We're going to work up some songs. Bloomfield gets some guys over. Mostly pretty much the Paul Butterfield Blues Band, minus Paul Butterfield. They add Al Cooper on keyboard. They go over the songs once or twice. That's it. Next day, Sunday, closing night. Bob gets up on stage, but instead of an acoustic guitar around his neck, he's got a Fender Stratocaster. He takes his plug and plugs it in. Mike Bloomfield and a bunch of other skinny guys in tight pants and sunglasses get up there, and they start out on Maggie's Farm, which is a song from Bob's new record. Now, if you listen to that song on Bob's record, it's a pretty good song. But if you listen to what they did live at Newport, it's a whole different thing. It's like the difference between a Ford sedan and a fucking fighter jet. They were ready to take off. This song was built for speed, man. And they cranked it up. It's a hypnotic one-chord song with angry, defiant lyrics, loud guitar, raucous drums. What do you call that? Punk rock 65, that's what I call it. Crowd was stunned. Some of them loved it. Most of them loved it. Some of them hated it. Some of them went boo. Boo. Bob's kettle's boiling. This is his declaration of independence. He's out. He's not playing Kumbaya ever again. Later on, people try to figure out what's up with all this booing. Guys in the back row said it was the guys in the front row. Guys in the front row said no. It's the other musicians. The other musicians said no. It's the press corps. Press corps said no, not us. Ian and Sylvia said it was just a tough crowd. They didn't like anybody. Al Cooper said they didn't hate the electric part of it. It was just crappy sound and short. New York Times said Bob was roundly booed by folk song purists who considered innovation the worst sort of heresy. I think Bob kind of agreed with the New York Times, and he did not return to Newport for 37 years. Strangely, in 2002, he came back and played a couple songs in a wig and glasses, like frickin' Groucho Marx. He hasn't been back since. He's not coming back. Booing got to be a bit of a thing for a while there. Famously in Manchester, Bob's touring with the Hawks, Robbie and Levon and the boys. Everybody's booing. Some dude, some fool, yells out Judas. Dylan said, "No, you're a liar. You're a liar." Then he turned to the Hawks and said, "Turn it fucking up." And they did. They were right. They were right to turn it up. The haters were wrong. Like Bob said, if you're not busy being born, you're busy dying. And that, my friends, is the story of Bob Dylan. How he got his divorce from the folk rock scene. His declaration of independence. He didn't have to sing Kumbaya around the fire anymore. And that's how folk rock music got invented. And it was a good day. It was a very good day. A long, long time ago. Anyway, there is a little coda to this. Is that the famous Stratocaster that he put on, Dylan left the place and he was flying in a private plane. So there's a pilot, and he left his guitar in the plane, and the pilot is some dude from New Jersey. Kept it, and he actually called their management company. Says, "Hey, I got a guitar. What do you want me to do with it?" No response. So years later, like in I don't know, 2012 or something, his daughter, basically says, "I got this guitar. We've tried to give it back. We can't." So she gives it to the auction house. They sell it for $965,000. And at that point, we got Bob's attention. He says, "No, I want my guitar back." I don't know if he ever got it back. It was some guy, some football club owner bought it. And the kind of cool thing is, for the 50th anniversary of Bob going electric, they brought the guitar to Newport Folk Festival. And they let Jason Isbell play it. And a whole bunch of other people like Gillian Welch and people did a bunch of Bob songs. So the guitar was actually played again at the Newport Folk Festival 50 years later. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. Read a book. Listen to a Sex Pistols record. Go listen to Bringing It All Back Home by Bob. And listen to the live version of Newport. It will blow your mind. And go listen to He Mistook Her for a Swan on Spotify or your streaming channel of choice, or go to Bandcamp and fucking pay us some money for it. You could do that too. So you guys take care, and remember that if you're not busy being born, then you're just busy dying.